this meeting to order. Let's stand and say the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Jeff, will you please give the oath to Mr. Samuelson?
Absolutely. Please stand and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Todd Samuelson,
I, Todd Samuelson,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Indiana,
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
and the laws of the United States and the state of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. We're now going to call for nominations for board president.
Nominate Todd Samuelson.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations?
I move the nominations be closed.
Second.
Been closed. Nominations been closed, been seconded. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All in favor of Todd Samuelson to be president of the Plymouth Board, say aye.
Aye.
All in favor, all opposed, say no. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Item 1.3, we'll have the election of the board vice president. I'll open for nominations.
Nominate Larry Holloway.
I'll second.
Any other nominations?
Sometimes it pays to show up.
I hear
I move the nominations be closed.
Second.
Motion is second to close nominations. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nominations are closed. We have a nomination for Larry Holloway as board vice president. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Larry is vice president. Item 1.4, election of the board secretary. Open nominations.
Nominate Melissa Christensen.
I will second. Are there any other nominations?
Move the nominations be closed.
I will second. I have a motion and second to close nominations. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have a motion for Melissa Christensen as board secretary. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 1.5, we have an appointment, or need to appoint candidate for the board vacancy. I'll keep going, or somebody want to do this? We have a vacancy on the board due to no one running for that particular seat. Robin has thankfully continued to show interest in the seat, and I would certainly recommend that we appoint her as to the board.
I move we appoint Robin Kupka as a board member.
Second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Welcome to the board again.
Thank you. Now,
Now I think we will have an oath of office, yes.
If you would stand and raise your right hand, and I'll let you read along. I, Robin Kupka,
I, Robin
do
Kupka,
solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
and the laws of the United States and the State of Indiana.
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
I will faithfully execute the duties of my office as a member of this governing body, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Okay. On to item 1.7, we'll set the agenda for the regular meeting.
Number content.
Consent
Have
agenda.
sidebars going on. Additions or corrections, I think is what.
Yeah, there are some,
There's
but
some additions, yeah.
put them in a different place. Oh. Additions, 2.7 monthly claims. Number 4, 2.11 leaves request added. 2.12 appointments, Whitney Grace, WDA, temporary third grade teacher, effective 1/4/17. 2.19 request fundraiser for Menominee first grade added. 2.21 non-resident student admissions added. 2.21 change in overnight speech tournament request. 3.4 consider classified conditions and pay increases. And 3.5 the calendar for the 2017-2018 school year. Those are the additions.
With those additions, I'll entertain a motion to accept the agenda.
So moved.
I second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda is set. Item 1.8, audience participation. Are there any agenda items audience members would like to comment on this evening? Okay, thank you. We'll move on then to the section 2 for the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that a board member would like to pull out and consider separately? Hearing none, entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So move.
I second
Have a
it.
motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item, or section 3, item 3.1, appoint the legislative liaison.
Well, that has always been you. Do you
Right.
still wish?
That's fine.
Okay. I appoint Todd Samuelson to the legislative liaison.
So moved.
Second.
Have motion and second. Discussion. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.2, appoint members to the strategic planning committee.
Yes, I think in the past, we've had Larry on the strategic plan and Melissa. Do you wish to stay on it?
Sure.
All in favor of Melissa Christensen?
We need a motion
Oh,
from
I'm sorry.
somebody.
So moved.
Okay, we've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second for Larry Pinkerton and Melissa to be members of the strategic planning committee. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Item 3.3, conflict of interest disclosure.
This is an annual action item where administrators and others who might have any sort of pecuniary interest with potential contractors have to fill out the conflict of interest forms from the state board of accounts, so it's presented for your approval.
So move.
Second.
I have motion and second to approve the conflict of interest statements. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.4, consider classified conditions and pay increases.
Yes, this is something we do annually at this time of year because classified staff is based on a calendar year. And we'd like to request that the board approve a 2% pay increase to try and keep in line with what the teachers have received, will be receiving.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the recommendation or the pay adjustment for classified conditions of, let me start over. We have a motion to approve the classified conditions and pay increases, and a second. All in favor, or is there any discussion or questions? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 3.5, calendar for 2017-18 school year.
Yes, in front of you, you have a calendar that has been discussed thoroughly and brought to you to appoint the calendar for 2017, 2018. The one thing that we left vacation with was that we had put in a day before, the Thursday before Blueberry Festival. And when the votes were taken by the different schools, Megan Atkinson, who's the discussion chairman for the teachers, she called me with the votes, and she said the only thing is they were didn't see any reason to take a day off of the day before, the Thursday before Blueberry Festival. And I said, did they have any suggestions? And she said, well, one or two people said it would be better to have it after Blueberry so people could rest up. But she said more people thought we should have it right before Christmas. So we looked at it and got back together 2 days ago and decided that we would do it. We would take the day off before Christmas vacation, since there's just a short, 3 days before Christmas. We thought that made more sense. So before you is the calendar that I recommend for the 2017-2018.
I'm so moved.
Second.
Did we do anything different with fall break? Or is that the same as what it was 1 week?
What do you mean?
Well, maybe it was, I don't remember what it was. I thought we were contemplating to change. I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Are there potentially any snow days built in there?
You know, it's not, I didn't put it on there, but I think I'll go ahead and suggest that we use the snow days be Martin Luther King Day and President's Day, like we've had in the past.
Good idea.
I thought you did all virtual now, though, so I didn't think you needed.
Well, if we have more than 4 virtual days in a row, we said we'd do makeups.
Oh, okay.
So we haven't hit that yet, but, so, thanks for bringing that up, Larry, because I forgot all about it.
The only thing that caught my eye, and I'm sure it had a lot of discussion, was on the Christmas break, going to the Monday the 8th, as opposed to maybe 2 days, like getting out the 21st, a little bit more before Christmas. What was the thought behind that? Items?
Trying to make sure we got in 3 weekends and 2 weeks. Because if you would have done it a little differently, if you'd have backed it up half of that week, you would have ended up coming back without that 3rd weekend. And people missed that 3rd weekend. And that's why Megan and I decided slipping that in there would give us that little extra time for people that wanted to travel. They could leave on a Thursday night or a Friday, you know.
Any other questions or discussion?
Just so we get it in 180 days.
We're not gonna miss that.
That's a good idea. I've lost track. Did we have a motion?
Yep.
And a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the calendar as presented, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Superintendent remarks.
Yes, we've been out here for a couple of weeks, so I don't have a lot, but I did want to look at high expectation 4.3. This is not something that's achieved every year, but Emery Smith, one day she found out she got the Lilly scholarship, and the next day she got notice from Notre Dame that she hadn't been left in, and newspaper article, she said that was the only way she was going to be able to go to Notre Dame. So we congratulate her for her hard work and her high expectations her teachers had for her and she had for herself. Teamwork. January 18th, PHS will offer both a freshman orientation for the next year's class and an open house for this year's students. This has always been a big night for the future and present students. Our next board meeting is February 7th at 7 o'clock. And that's all I have for tonight's board meeting.
Any questions or comments for Dan?
I'd like to make a comment. Dan, I appreciate you notifying the media about taking down the tree at Lincoln Junior High. I think that was a good thing to do, and it let people know why the tree had to come down.
Oh, thanks. Well, we've been working closely with the city and with Steve Listenberger on that, and trying to save it, but we just weren't able to.
I understand.
How old was it?
I haven't been over to count the rings yet.
The European copper beech. You don't see those around town.
Mm-mm.
Okay, thanks, Dan. Audience, any questions or anything on the agenda items?
Yeah, it's just a couple of clarification items. Was one of the items added to the agenda 2.11 leave request? Was that one of the ones that you mentioned? I didn't know if I heard that or not. I'm just looking at the agenda that is on board docs, and it does not list who or whom.
Those usually aren't listed.
Those aren't usually listed? I thought they, for leave requests, I get them that way? Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then on the calendar, when we talk about using Martin Luther King Day and President Day as possible snow days, that's only if we have 4 days in a row?
In a row.
Okay.
Yep.
So it would be the 5th day?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Good day, and we would use one of those. The first one, I think, is Martin Luther King Day. And,
Not gonna happen,
I don't think so.
Just the last one is more kind of a thought, and Todd, with you being appointed as a legislative liaison, traditionally, from what I've seen, that is many times an informative role for the school board. I would like to look into the possibility of broadening the coalition for support of public education and looking at ways where the school board, the teachers association, parents, community leaders, business leaders can now get together and, like I said, broaden that coalition of support and reach out to legislators in a little bit more of a direct fashion. You know, I don't know how that looked like. I know that it's going to be important as we look ahead. We know that when we do individual efforts, which we've been very good at, that hasn't had as much success as what we had hoped. It's usually limited success. So if we were able to, on the issues where we do agree, where all those groups, like I said, agree upon, be able to reach out to legislators, I'm just wondering if that would be a way to get a little bit more success with the legislators and
I
the
think
laws that
we'll
is
certainly be open to that.
Do you know of any other school corporations that are doing such a thing?
Well, that's one of the ideas. Let's reach out to the schools in Marshall County. We're very unique. Marshall County, typically as a rural area, you know, we have seen that we have had very successful school corporations, and yet the funding continues to decrease. And last meeting, when we had the man that came in and projected the population growth, which was a negative, we know that that is going to be a challenge that we're going to continue to have. So as we look at broadening that coalition, I would even suggest where we're working together with the other school corporations to speak to the legislators, have town hall meetings, sometimes maybe going to Indianapolis to speak to them on those issues.
I meant more if you know of another school district within the state where they've established some sort of model.
I have not seen any model. I see more and more attention being put with certain groups, like I think there's one of Parents and Educators for Public Education. That is very vocal, that you see on Facebook, a couple different groups like that.
Do you know, Dan?
I know that Westville, Washington, there was a coalition down there about 3 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know who all was involved of it, but their assistant superintendent is married to Nancy Nixon, and so I could give him a call this week and see what they did. They were very successful.
Gather information and maybe come together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
But just willing to offer, the association is ready to jump in and do what's needed.
I think we all need to pay attention.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
Could I know the length of Robin's appointment?
Lifetime.
4 years.
4 years. Thank you.
She didn't ask that question.
No, I knew already.
So far, it's been month to month.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Entertained motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.